What is up, ladies and gents? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcast, RAF ESPARZA, coming to you with another great installment of The Bullpen, a show that is a joint venture between Inside BJJ and the Grappling Hour. I hope you guys are having a great day. I'm having a pretty good day, except for maybe one thing. I might have just discovered that I am coaching over the Super Bowl. Now, you might ask yourself, Raf, who in their right minds would do a tournament on the Super Bowl? Well, in Southern California, it happens quite frequently, I'm told. I guess in other ways, you might ask me, Raf, well, what time are you guys competing? Maybe it's earlier in the morning. No, it's definitely 6 p.m. So it's definitely right as Kendrick Lamar is going to take the stage here on Pacific Coast time. So anyway, other than that, doing fantastic. I'm now prone to checking in with my good friend for many years, one Tim Freeman. Tim, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. That is terrible news about the Super Bowl. Churches, they don't even have church at that time. They will be like, nah, man, everyone stay home, stay safe. We're sheltering inside today. Watch the Super Bowl, eat some cheese, have a good time. That's too bad. It doesn't surprise me that jiu-jitsu would do that. Jiu-jitsu plays by its own rules. It always has, and it probably always will, for better or for worse. Either way, I'm glad to be here today. We got some exciting stuff on the show.
Well, we've had some also breaking news, so much so that we haven't had time to properly prepare for it. So, Tim, do you mind telling me just a little bit of what has essentially broken out as we've gotten ready to go live?
A couple things here. One is IBJJF Masters Worlds 2025. The dates were announced August 27th, August 30th, Las Vegas, Nevada. And then immediately Bugs Bunny goes, and we're having CJI2 on August 30th and August 31st, August 29th and August 30th, Las Vegas, Thomas and Mack Center, right after Masters Worlds. In fact, his post said, come for Masters, stay for CJI2. So Craig is once again pulling a very intelligent move. He's capitalizing on when the crowd's going to be there. And it's not a better time in Las Vegas if there's no ADCC, if it's an off year. Masters Worlds is a gigantic tournament, and all those guys are masters. So most of them have jobs and some disposable income to be able to do both.
Well, it also addresses an issue that I think Gordon had raised. So at some point, Gordon was kind of talking about Craig and said, well, that's cool. You did that. But at this point, what are you going to do to attack the real people? You went after ADCC, but what about the real villains, the IBJJF? And now it seems like equal opportunist Craig Jones is saying oh, that was on the plans. We were getting there. So this 4D chess that Craig is playing, once again, I can't tell if it's by design, but it is kind of wild that one August is the behemoth that was ADCC, the next, the behemoth that is IBJJF. Your thoughts just on that kind of mix between the two?
I think it is a way for Craig to have some plausible way of saying, I did take a shot at them. I don't think he's really trying to compete with the IBJJF. I don't even think they're competitors in the same market in terms of what Craig's doing and what they're doing. I think this particular decision probably was just driven off the fact that all those people are going to be there. I would like to see Craig doing CJI in Las Vegas on a weekend where there's no jiu-jitsu going on. Yeah. And it's only CJI. I'd like to see the numbers that it draws, how it works out. Having said that, I don't think Craig would sidestep the IBJJF if he thought they were standing in front of him and they had to throw down in one way or another. So I don't think he's avoiding them, but he's pretty smart about the choices that he's making and where they push their resources. So
I mean, he is definitely in this realm of making this shit work where you kind of think to yourself, oh, that is pretty impressive that they are doing this. But also, at one point, IBJJF is probably thinking to themselves, the 50 Cent meme, what the fuck did I ever do to you? So I
Mhm.
think they might have been taken by surprise. But we did find out the last time that CGI did make it more of a night event. And to be honest, if anything, Craig might have forced our hand here at the show. And I don't know if you've thought about this, Tim, but let's say we're covering it. Let's say we do something with them. I'm not saying it is going to happen. I'm just saying, what if it did? Craig essentially just made it so that you or I could not compete in the Masters category now. Like our dance is committed now. So he already made the decision for us, because every once in a while I look at that Masters and I go, all right, maybe this is the year. Maybe I'll go do that. It's August. I could take some time off. I'd go do it, get some good competition in. And for whatever reason, no. And this year I was like, I don't know, maybe we'll see. And Craig essentially picked the same weekend, and you know all the work that goes into this. The answer, no, not at all again.
There's no way in hell you're going to do Masters Worlds the same week or the same set of days that you're going to cover an event for the bullpen like that. Not gonna. I can't even imagine trying to make weight, let alone trying to compete with a Guion again. But yeah, he did make the decision for us. It doesn't hurt me too bad because listen,
No,
if
no, no,
I'm
no.
doing
Say
Masters,
it does hurt you. Whatever you do, I have to stop you here. It does hurt you because it's more valuable if it did hurt you than if it didn't. So maybe I
oh,
should
that's right.
readdress the way I presented this. Tim, it obviously affects you and me, right?
Yeah, it's a huge imposition
Yeah.
because guys like me, we look forward to There's not a lot of places to compete where there's older guys. Look, I'm in Masters probably 12 or 11 or somewhere around there. Real hard to find competitors. I know once a year, Masters Worlds is going to come around and I'm going to have a bracket. I'll have at least 4 guys in that bracket. And Craig comes through town and he goes, not this time. If you want to work for me, you will not wear the gi. Little
That's
Johnny Cochran for you right
little
there. You like
little little poeticness right there, Tim. All right, let's go ahead and transition to this board here. So Tim, thank you very much for the hard work you did on this board. We have a lot to talk about. We're going to start off first by addressing the fact that it looks like there are some individuals, mainly 2 brothers, who alongside their time that they're helping get Cody Steele ready for his debut in the UFC, which I believe is tomorrow, they're also starting to test the waters on maybe advocating for the fact that deals are good for people like them. And it seems like they're ready to play. So, Tim, what is it we need to know about the Tackett brothers in terms of their openness to being contracted and signed?
Yeah, they're putting it out there. They're showing it, man. They're like, hey, we are available. We have a pen and wet ink. We just need a contract to sign. These guys are young and they've seen the previous generations of guys come through and basically, combat their way through 2 decades worth of work and not really have a ton to show for it at the end. These guys want to get paid and they're looking for more long-term, exclusive, stable contracts. And they're throwing organizations out like UFC in one. I think they've seen Mikey Musumeci jump around and they're seeing the Rotolo brothers start to make some money. And they're looking at each other thinking like, why not us? Like, let's put it out there. We're interested. These are the same guys that immediately jumped on CJI. They were quick about going like 80cc, not this time. I'm going for that Vegas money. It's CJI. So it doesn't surprise me that they're doing it. I think it's good. Halleck Gracie, and I say this all the time, he did a lot of other stuff too, but having exclusive contracts was a big reason why people got upset at him. And now that kind of seems to be like maybe where we're going, or some exclusivity where you compete for us and you could also compete for this one and that one, but not those other organizations, something like that. Tackett boys would be a great investment. Those guys got a huge future ahead of them.
It's not just that, but they're a good return on investment. Like those 2 guys, when you put them on a card, you essentially just had one of the greatest all-time matches. So that means their equity is going to be pretty high for young Tackett. For elder Tackett, a history of making great events and being a consistent rock star. I'm thinking like this. If I am somebody who has the ability to sign fighters to these exclusive contracts, quote unquote, or at least giving them kind of an opportunity, if you have somebody like William Tackett, you have consistency, That should matter for a lot. You have name brand recognition. The kid's been doing a lot better on his YouTube presence and doing his own videos and technique breakdowns and seems very comfortable talking. Clearly likes to travel and very excited to do so if it's for competition. And I think last but not least, like on the other side, you get the little brother who had one of the most entertaining matches of 2024, widely regarded as like the new standard, willing to go in any rule set, has beaten big opponents like Big Dan before. And you don't even know what he's fully capable of yet because it seems like he's still just growing into his role as a great jiu-jitsu practitioner. So for all those reasons and more, consistency, easy to work with, super nice, super kind, and yields you great matches. If you're an organization, you don't get much better than those two. So I wish them well in their contract seeking, but can't hurt that he's going with Cody to a UFC event and doing a great job of cataloging that entire experience. So I'm just saying, if I'm Fight Pass Invitational, how long are you going to wait to put on William Tackett? He's already done the Who's Number Ones. He's already been on other organizations. This is a kid who deserves to get front and center in your organization and build around him. And don't forget, there's another brother. So you might get a 3-for-2 deal if you're smart now.
Yeah, that's a 3-piece combo right there. A good one too. $4.99, probably somewhere around there. Like that's not a bad deal at all. So
I also wonder if they're just like looking at William being like, so if you have a kid, do we get first refusal rights on this
yeah,
kid? Because
right.
we're thinking way down the line here, man. So yeah, that's the type of stuff that I like to see from them, and good for him. He's always had a very easy to work with, but a good head on his shoulders. And we are wishing the best to them out in Australia as Cody gets the nod from the UFC. But let's move on to our next one, which is Who's Number 126 is tonight. It is hard to remember these things. There are so many events, and it feels weird to have an event going down on a Friday, but there it is. You got Keith Krikorian and Diego Pado, I believe, headlining tonight, correct?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
well, Tim, who else is going to be on this card? Because there are a lot of notable people who are on it and some good friends of the show who will be making their return to Who's Number 126 tonight.
So the main card is actually a very stacked card. It's a very good card to check out. It's going to start with a welterweight bout between Daniel Sattler and Michael Saenz. Daniel Sattler is a super exciting fighter. He's never going to have a boring fight. Never, ever, ever. And I would venture to say if it is boring, he will make it exciting by doing something additional, maybe after the fight, maybe during a break. But at some point, he's going to make sure you get your money's worth. There is a women's heavyweight bout between Rafael Geddes and Paige Yvette. Both great grapplers. Paige has been on a real good run for the last couple years. She's hungry. It's a big stage. I expect to see some exciting stuff from her. And then we're followed up with these two in a row are just fantastic. Tynan Dalpra against Renee Souza. Going to be an outstanding match. Dalpra is an AOJ product. We've been watching this kid since he was 8 years old with braces, and he's doing fantastic. Only getting better, exciting to watch. You don't want to miss that. And then we have Ryan Aiken against Lucas Lira. Ryan had an incredible year last year that he capped off with the PGF, won the team victory, won the individual tournament, just had a fantastic season, had a great year, and he's looking to do some big things. He was excited about this matchup. He went to Instagram and said, I can't say who it is, but I just signed this major matchup and I'm super stoked about it. I think Ryan is going to come out real strong. I'm looking forward to seeing that. And then it follows up with Roberto Jimenez versus Elder Cruz. Jimenez is always fun to watch. J Rod against Ronaldo Souza, Ronaldo Jr., sorry. That is going to be a banger of a match. Super dynamic athletes. And Ronaldo can hold his own against anybody. If anybody can stop J Rod, it's Ronaldo. And then, of course, like you mentioned, the main event, Diego Pazzo versus Keith Krikorian. It's a great card, man. If you don't have anything to do tonight, you should be watching Who's Number 126.
I would agree. I'll definitely have eyes on it. I'm not sure exactly how much I'll be able to ingest on this one, but it is something that I'm going to try to figure out my ability to watch tonight. But very happy to see Keith Krikorian returning to the main part of it. And what's so weird is I remember a time when Keith wouldn't get on those events. Like, it is
Yeah.
so funny because now it seems commonplace, but it's like, dude, he had to work. He had to really, really grind away. And seeing him headline is an incredible thing. And he definitely wants to make an impression against Diego. So we're rooting the best for our good friend to do well on that one. So shout out Keith. Although Keith is starting to dance in videos, and I don't know how I feel about it.
What kind of dancing is he doing?
So I don't hate it because it gets the product more look, but he was basically strutting out in his new tatami gear. And as he's strutting, he's just like, and then he'll do a little dance. And everybody was like, yo, Keith's got fucking swag. Look at this. And I go, I don't know if it's swag. Like, is it adorable? Maybe. And then he brought a cat out. And I go, oh, the cat's super fucking cute. Okay. Because the weird part is, I think, and I don't quote me on this, Keith, if you're watching, but like, you might be aging out of cute Keith level. Because for a while he was very happy with being like, oh, I love the movie Boss Baby. Oh, it's my favorite. And I'm like, you're 18 years old, Keith. Like, how is Boss Baby your favorite movie? It's like, it is. And then would legit have like a Boss Baby logo on his backpack. And I go, I don't want to make fun of this kid, but when like the kids age out of the suggested age of
Right.
what they're supposed to enjoy for toys, it's like, well, it says 6 to 18, sir. You just turned 21.
Yeah, it's time to move on.
But I let him be. It's just now as he's maturing, he's like, well, now I'm going to dance, but elegantly. And I go, I'm going to make fun of this kid. Oh, that cat's pretty cute. Damn it. Fine, Keith. I will not roast you. But the internet is like, when they'll be like, you go, girl, like that sort of almost empty, silly, like they want to show they're supporting you thing. That was kind of the equivalent of everybody like, Keith, you got moves. And I go, don't do that.
Well, the good thing about
people who actually have moves.
Right. The nice thing about the internet is it will turn on you eventually. So
that's the other part. I don't want it to turn on him. I just want to be like, just accurately call it what it is. That's all I'm asking for, is just as accurate as possible. If you start leading this kid to think that that's good, you know what it looked like? All right, I'll say it. I think at one point it kind of looked like the moment in Spider-Man 3 when Tobey Maguire does the unnecessary dance sequence. Like, that's what it kind of read like to me. But Keith's a friend, and I would never say that publicly, although I'm doing it now. So, Keith, I love you. Go win tonight. Please don't make me roast you. It doesn't always make me feel good when I have to roast you, but I will do it because I'm a host. This is what I'm supposed to do. Having said that, we move on. What can you tell me about this upcoming Fight Pass 10? There's been so many moving elements and parts. And for my money, Tim, they have put together an incredibly good freaking card this year. It is stacked so well. And in one event has become, in my opinion, the destination for women's grappling. Tim, what say you about Fight Pass 10, and what is the new information we have learned?
So, the original main event, and it's still the main event, but the first fight announced was Fiona Davies against Adele Fornerino. And already that's a massive matchup. Fantastic matchup. Pound for pound, really good matchup. They have recently announced 3 more fights. These are great matchups. Whoever's doing their matchmaking is doing a pretty good job. So they announced Elizabeth Clay, who I believe won at I think it was Nogi Worlds, but I might be wrong about that. But she had a little break. She had a baby. She's come back from that. She's hungry. She wants to win. She's been in the jiu-jitsu scene for a minute now. She's going to be going up against Brianna St. Marie. It's going to make for a fantastic matchup. These are 2 fierce competitors, have lots of titles under their belt. They're both very good. They both want to win. And then we have Maggie Grindada Lira, fresh off of her Fight Pass Invitational 9 victory. She's taking on Helena Krevar. And this is a big match for her. It's a tall order, and it's going to be a real nice feather in Kravar's cap if she can pull this victory off. And so far, nobody's really been able to beat Helena in one of these kinds of events. We've seen her pick up a loss in ADCC, but beyond that, she's been pretty damn unbeatable. So this is going to make for a nice match. And then they followed up with Cassia Mora against Talita Alencar. Both great competitors. Cassia's more on the up and coming side. Talita has a pretty established resume in the fight world, but really 3 great matches to add to an already outstanding main event between Davies and Fornerino. So I can't wait to see what they do next. Like, how are you going to live up to this? Like, who else are you going to fill this card with? But I think these are some pretty great things, man. That's going to be a real nice night of fights as well.
I've just been super stoked to see what they're doing behind the scenes. And like I said, it goes a little bit earlier with what we were mentioning about the Tackett brothers. Like, you could see them on a card like this. And I think that's how you start to stack to those next things. I think that's how you make things get a little bit bigger and better. So I'm excited for the fictional, but seeing them do, they've been teasing it. The only thing I don't know is this. I don't know how translatable it is to the wide stream, like, MMA audience. And now there's talk that the UFC may actually go into boxing. One of their heads of the company for TKO, a gentleman I believe by the name of Mark Shapiro, he has been indicating that they're slowly testing the waters. And I think maybe I might be misquoting here, but I thought it was Ari Emanuel or him that said the Ali Act is really what hurts right now the company. Like, it was like, nah, it screwed over boxing. Like, the Ali Act screwed over boxing. And I go, what the fuck are we talking about? The Ali Act is one of the few pieces of legislation that tries to protect fighters and it gives them free agency. Saying that is a problem in general for them makes sense, but to be like, it ruined boxing. And I'm like, what are we talking about here? What are we trying to say? But nonetheless, that's their way of saying, like, well, there's a problem. We're going to fix it. And our solution is going to be UFC boxing or Zuffa boxing or something to that effect. So they've been teasing it for a long time. It looks like it is slowly coming into fruition. So keep eyes on that, you guys. But yes, Ladies' Night indeed coming up very soon. Let's now move on to one of our next elements, which is, if you look at this one, history. Craig Jones is returning to glory at CGI 2. Now, we've already announced the dates, but it is interesting, the implications, everything that really matters here for them getting the attention of the whole world of jiu-jitsu for that August 30th kind of targeted date. I guess my question for you is, Tim, they say they have 4 teams announced. Who do you think those 4 teams are? And we know one of them is the EBI, aka the Eddie Bravo team, that seems to be kind of shaping up nicely. Who's already announced who's on their team, but who else do you think they have already locked up here?
The 2 I know for sure would be B team, and even though it hasn't been, I don't know if it's been official that there's a 10th Planet team, but I think it's more or less official. I think we're going to see a New Wave team. I think that's going to happen. I don't think Craig is so beyond, like, he's so angry about this thing between him and Gordon that, we can never work together. I don't buy it. I think these guys both want to make money. I think Craig loves doing sensational things, obviously, and he would completely have New Wave there if he could. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that. I think there's a strong possibility that we'll see an Atos team or some kind of like blended Atos AOJ team. I think makes a lot of sense. Outside of that, it's a little hard to guess. I'm not really certain, Raf. I mean, I would like to see a traditional team that's from a traditional jiu-jitsu lineage. I don't know if you could have a Gracie team, like, per se. That would be pretty freaking cool. I actually think that'd be pretty freaking cool, though, right? just for old time's sake, man, just have a Gracie team.
You know what?
And
They have
then
to come out all doing the shoulder thing, like
oh,
the
hell yeah.
whole entrance like that. That's my condition on that.
Yes. That's a requirement. There's no other way that can be done. And then I would like to see some kind of like Globetrotter style team that's like a mixed group of guys who's kind of goofing and acting weird, but they're pretty good and they might have a shot, or maybe just have an exhibition match, like a Globetrotter style grapple.
So they said that there was going to be a wild card team. Okay. Can I give you my pitch on how I think the wild card team should work? A group of participants, and you bingo call them like the Price is. You have a pool of people in a fucking little spinner that has balls with their names on it. And as you pull it out, it's like, oh shit, look at this. And then as they call the name, they're going to be like, oh my God, Cody Steele, come on down. And it's just like, hey, I didn't even know I was going to do this. All right, cool. I think that's the only way you do a wild card team, because when they talk about wild card teams, I think what they were trying to do was concede to the fact that there's gonna be one weird team, like some group of nomads that come together. I think they know there's no way to do it, because it's the same thing that you do when you say, oh, we're going to keep it to just 10th planet. It's like, well, you mean all 100 of them?
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, that's going to be hard to find 5 good people from that 100 different schools. So, yikes. There is that. You know what's really good here? This is what I want to bring up, because I think we kind of got to the end of this question. We'll come back. There's going to be lots of time for discussion on this. Of course, it starts with the formality here. But then, true to the paid advertising bot that he is, Egghead realized that the PGF is not on the board and is working to hijack it, proposing his own board topic. So we'll indulge you here because we have a minute and not too much more than that. But it says 34 competitors signed up for PGF qualifier in Las Vegas tomorrow. Starts at 4 p.m. Bracket is already available on Smooth Comp. You know, yes, we are also part of the PGF family, so this isn't an issue to us. I do love the fact that you do continuously write this language in the shortest of ad copy that I've ever seen, but it's written by someone who you know is a robot pretending to be a human. Like, this is 100% when Arnold Schwarzenegger picks up the phone and goes, your mother is dead. Move away. Like, it's not exactly who it is. Like, you speak like this, it makes me go, yeah, this is a robot wrote this. Skynet wrote this one. But yes, 34 competitors, not too shabby. And some of the qualifier action has been incredibly fun to watch. And we've gotten to talk to a couple of the people. I do have invites out, and I'm going to be locking down a couple different individuals, including whoever wins this Sunday. But Tim, these kids are, I think they realize the opportunity is coming, because last year, you know, they filled it up at like 16 or 72. I don't remember exactly how many they had, but once they locked it down, I just remembered some people being like, damn, I wish I had known. And it's like, we didn't stop talking about it. Now you know it's a thing and you want in on the thing. So do you have any just quick observations about what could be setting up here?
Yeah, you know, this is the third qualifier spot. I believe this is the last one, right? I think after this, there's no other way to get in. So you better show up in Vegas if you want in. It has pretty serious implications, because if you win this spot, like, you're gonna be on a team and you're gonna have a chance to make some serious money. You're gonna have a chance to promote yourself to a way larger audience than potentially you were before. And you don't even necessarily have to win, but you have to compete. You have to show up. You have to make your statement and put yourself out there. So big opportunity. And it's awesome to see PGF Season 8's right around the corner. As these qualifiers start to wrap up, it's like, man, I remember the PGF Season 7 qualifiers. I was pumped for those. We're already on the 8 qualifiers. So pretty cool stuff. We're about a month away.
Yourself. The more you start to talk like that, the more you realize time has passed. I just looked at my wife today and I was like, do you remember January? And she goes, Jesus Christ. And I go, yeah, it was not that far ago, babe. So anyway, it did feel, she was like, it was like 48 days. And I go, and yet here we are. He does say A 20-pound brain might be commentating the matches. Don't know any 20-pound brains available in my community, so that's good. Fourth qualifier, and is their last chance. All written in caps. It's really good because if you read the rest of the sentence, it's just supposed to say fourth qualifier, and it is their last chance. Like, beautiful.
That's
beautiful coup de grace.
Urgency. He's creating urgency.
You know what? He's doing something here. I'm not sure it's 100% written the way it's supposed to go on the teleprompter. Like, if I read that and the emphasis is just on their last chance, I might be like, started it and it's their last chance. So that way I know to go up higher as opposed to trying to hit my high note on just the last chance. Anyway, let us move on, Tim. We have some last couple things to get to before we kind of wrap things up. This will be a shorter episode today, but guys, you want to keep action on this because the gift that keeps on costing. So, Tim, what exactly are we talking about here? Because when you put this prompt up, like, are we talking about like children? Are we talking about my students taking me away from the Super Bowl? Like, what exactly are we referring to here, sir?
We're talking about, so recently Joe Rogan talked about giving his buddy jiu-jitsu as a gift, a year's worth of jiu-jitsu as a gift and for Christmas. And this guy's been going to jiu-jitsu and he's loving it. And I started thinking, like, is jiu-jitsu really a good gift to give somebody? Because one is, if they love it, let's say they love it, right? Now it's the gift that costs you money. Because if you get hooked, it's not cheap, man. And especially in those white belt, blue belt, predatory DVD days, right? Like, you're going to be paying Danaher or somebody to learn how to get better faster. I guarantee it. 80% of the income that's spent on that stuff is from white and blue belts. So you're going to get nailed. It's not going to be free. It's going to bang your body up super duper bad, worse than you ever felt before. So in terms of a gift, not sure it's that great of a gift. And somebody might actually begrudgingly go now. Like, I have to go because Tim gave me this gift. I hate this class. And then the worst is you gift it and they don't even use it. The year goes by and that's it. It's over. No jiu-jitsu. So don't think it's a great gift, but it's an interesting gift idea.
It's similar to what I realized when I was a kid when I go, man, they got a car for Christmas? That's amazing. And I think there's an SNL video where they showed like a mom getting a car for Christmas and she goes, oh my, what did you do? I'm like, what? I got a car. It's like, this is not something you tell me as a surprise. Like, we talk about it. How much was this car? And they go through the reel. They're like, the taxes on it alone are going to be terrible. You didn't just do this without talking to me. And the dude's like, I thought you wanted this car. And she's like, I didn't even want this car. So that's kind of what I feel like is with jiu-jitsu. It's like, you know, I have back problems, or, oh my God, babe, you got me a Colt. Yay. So there are definitely some downsides here. I'm going to read. Hey, we don't know which one they signed up for. When they say I got you jiu-jitsu for a full year, you're hoping it's one of the good ones. But when you're a fucking free student and you start, you don't know the good from the bad. You just show up. So literally, when you show up there, you're like, what are your first questions, kids? Just make sure you ask this. So is this one of the gyms where they harbor sex offenders? Like, make sure you ask that up top because it is an important question to ask. And that question response should tell you everything you need to know. Nonetheless, it says, friend of the podcast, you know, and PGF veteran Mike John is signed up. Yes, super stoked to see him back there. And he's coming off a big win with the AIGA trials. So super happy to see him. And I see this note here that says, I mean, I don't know what to tell you on that. We'll find out more information. Oh, and hello, fellas. I'm glad you got the joke out first and then the formalities here. So super happy with that.
No, it was me. Hi, guys. I'm here.
And then let me see here. And it says he's being a good coach and training partner somewhere. You know, that's probably a little bit more than we can promise because I can't tell you yes or no to that. Let me ask you this, Tim. This may be a topic we repeat in the future because I would like to get everybody's sensibilities on this. You were asking us to come up with our playlists. So I guess it starts, honest is on you. What is on the Tim Freeman playlist? Like, you're a gym owner, so you have carte
Yeah.
blanche to play whatever you want.
Depends on what kind of mood I'm in and how I'm feeling. And here's what I mean. If I'm not training, then I'm putting on some West Coast gangster rap with some Biggie because I like Biggie a lot. Or I'm putting on some death metal or something to get everyone kind of moving and going. If I'm training, and if maybe this is just like a midday for me, I'm not feeling super great, not feeling super low, then I'm gonna put on something like Hall& Oates. I'm gonna put something on like New Edition, something where these guys don't get pumped up. They're kind of confused by it. They're like, what genre of music is this? Like, how old is this playlist? Hall & Oates is from the 70s, the 80s. What? That's the kinds of things I want going through their head while I'm on the attack, while I'm coming after it, trying to nail them. If I'm feeling really good, then I'll put on classical or I'll put on jazz. I want to make them feel like they're basically in a Pete's Coffee or a Barnes and Noble, something very subdued to get them calm and get them chill. The only time I'm pumping it up is when I'm not training. That's my strategy. That's my black belt jiu-jitsu gym owner strategy.
That's fair. Wallow, I don't know where to go on this, but he has feelings about your playlist. He did just say here, Tim strikes me as the Air Supply type guy. And then you said, I knew it. Well, I'll tell you what my playlist is. I tend to be an old school hip hop guy. So I like very specific types of old school hip hop. I don't mind playing new stuff as well. Metal, I like it, but I like someone else to curate that because I'm not a true metalhead. But I
Yeah.
do find myself every once in a while, like, something has hit peak metal. If I go, who sings this? And I swear to God, sometimes you will see people mad at me when I roll with them because I'm literally just like ignoring what they're doing. Oh, is this? Oh God, who sings this? And they're like, I'm trying to submit you. And I go, yeah, you won't. But like, who sings this? And they'll just see me go off and like Shazam, I'll have it within like 30 seconds. I go, oh, yep, it's this person. Anyway, wee, sweep. So that's a fun little game I like to play. But yes, we will revisit that because I would like to hear what Kevin plays. I get the sense he's probably playing a lot of like Southern hip hop. So it is something that I have a good sense of what he might play. But I feel like Kevin's also the person who, as he plays it, goes, "Oh my God, guys, I've like heard this really, really good. Have you guys heard of Mr. P?" I'm like, "Are you talking about Master P?" I'm pretty sure it's Mr. P. I wouldn't just misgender him, Raph. Like, oh, okay, for sure. Yeah, I've heard of Mr. P, Kev. But nonetheless. All right, Tim, we got one last segment, and then we need to get you out of here because you have stuff to attend to. But I think it is time for us to get to the fight of the week. So, what can you, sir, tell us about this week's fight?
So this is a fight that is hard to follow and it's hard to understand. And it almost is like a spontaneous mosh pit where everyone's cool and then everyone's not. And it's full on. There's lots of food flying. And if you watch, it looks like it's in a bar and grill. There's some points where people just pick up plates and throw them across the room. They should have the Benny Hill music playing and just play it in like double time because that's almost what it breaks down to. But pretty epic fight video, and it goes from like crazy to like extra crazy pretty fast.
Well, Tim, no time like the present. I'm going to start playing it. If you would do us the honors of walking us through this. I mean, it's hectic. It looks like something out of Animal House, like a Hispanic version of Animal House is what I have dubbed this one. But nonetheless, Tim, tell us what you see here, sir.
So here we go. It's popping up. Somebody said go, and then the whole room goes. Everything you see standing won't be standing in a little bit. This one guy's trying to pull white pants guy's pants off, and then you can see the ladies get in the action. There are some chairs to be tossed. Basically, in a fight like this, your go-to is to do everything you've seen on WWE wrestling. It's all on the table at this point. Food's getting chucked. The poor waiters are still trying to cut through the crowd and like, I'm trying to get this guy some napkins, like I'm trying to get the nachos to table 12. They're actually trying to do their job, and the crowd is just literally fighting around them. There's a lot of like, don't do it, it's not worth it, holding people back kind of thing. And right when you think it's gonna kind of end, it starts to pick up again, which is like, I guess it's like the aftershock to the fight after the fight. I'm going to kick your ass for kicking my ass. It's kind of that thing that goes down, but that place gets just obliterated and it clears out. And who's going to pay all those tabs? Because those people that, oh, hold on, I got to go back inside and pay. I guarantee they didn't go back. Nobody went back inside and paid. They all screwed your moment.
Okay, okay, so I see some cousins in this one. Let me walk you through my interpretation of this fight, if you would be so kind to indulge. Let's start off here. So first of all, this is a massive brawl. Lines are drawn. You got hats in there. I don't see too many glasses because it's indoor, but this is like either a really good rock song is played, like there's some Limp Bizkit and there's a pit that everybody's going into, or this is a straight out fight. I'm a little nervous for these Heinekens and their beer bottledness as like weapons, but nobody seems to be using them, which doesn't seem like, oh, there's flying chairs. No, never mind. Civility is out. My favorite is the person who has the chair up in that left-hand top corner. And if you really pay attention, you see a dude. When you talk about WWE, you're not kidding, because there's the person with his hands up begging, like, no, dude, don't do it. Don't do it, my guy. Like giving off the evil heel, telling you not to do it. And the dude puts it down. And then the other dude's using a technical stand-up to say this should work against the chair. And yet nothing is going to stop because there are some small chairs thrown. And this dude's, he tosses the chair to the side because he had enough time to realize it wasn't a right thing to do. He was reasoned with. They used their powers. And now this dude's using part of a chair seat to get after it. Now, here's where things take a turn. Homegirl is getting in some hammer fists here, not caring about anybody's weave. This dude brought a folding chair when they had other ones because he realized, these other chairs just don't have the kind of flexibility and speed I'm looking for. He comes in looking for someone to hit and then hands it off to somebody. So look at this. This is some LeBron-esque playing. Homeboy knows somebody else needs this chair, hands it off to the side. Like, why do you bring something you're not going to use? Comes in and re-enters the fight and then gets hit with a chair in the most poetic of ways possible. And the best part is he just gets dinked. So hands off the chair. Look at that. And then watch it just connect with this bald dome. And then you'll hear him be like, dink, ow. Ow, that hurt. Ow, that really, oh, fuck, I think it got my eye. What a bitch. Now, here's where I want to tell you the art comes in for me, Tim. Homegirl 1 and Homegirl 2 are having it out. So they're basically getting into each other's face, telling them, no, you don't understand. Okay, no, you listen to me because way. This is my favorite girl in the whole fight, because this person right here is being held back. And she's like, you don't understand. I need to get out there. She needs me. No, let me go. Let me go. And then guess what? These two girls, not done. The peacekeeper trying to keep them at bay. And she's still like, you still holding on to me. My hyena needs me so bad. Let me go. Let me go. And these two dudes are like, can you believe what just happened? We came here thinking maybe we could get it at B-dubs. We should have stayed in that line.
They just came out of the bathroom. They're like, what happened?
And everybody's starting to dispense. It looks like order has been restored, but yet no, these two are still having it out as to who is the baddest bitch in the 626. And that, Tim, is my interpretation of that fight.
It's a pretty fantastic one. What I can't figure out is in the background, it's a very crowded area and they're all like hopping around. Did the whole place just, maybe a good song came on? I don't know.
Hey, listen, dude, I would never put it away or as far as saying that a good song couldn't incite a riot, but that is a particular good one. And any good brown person knows it's at that time that you play La Chona, because if you hit that song, brown people cannot fight anymore. They will dance. So that's really what you have to do. Like, there's been a lot of times when I've seen fights break out at Hispanic events, and it looks like it's going to get really bad. And the DJ just automatically knows, like, I better switch this. And they'll play some fucking salsa. They'll play some fucking thing that calms everybody down. And then everybody just starts like moving and swaying back and forth. And I go, oh, they've done it. Oh, I think now the real key is play some Bad Bunny. And if you play Mr. Bad Bunny, you will be rewarded with people starting to really enjoy their life. Nonetheless, Tim, we have exceeded our time. Let's go ahead and tell the people where they can.
BJJ on your favorite social media platforms. If you're out in Nashville, come see me at 10th Planet. In Stockton, please go see my crew out there at 10th Planet Stockton. Raf, it's always a pleasure, man. I really love doing this with you every week. And the fight videos, I kind of want to just do a separate show with you where we just watch fight videos, just 10 in a row, man. They're so good.
You know what? And I think the way that we do it is perfect, where I look at just enough to know that it plays through and doesn't show like your screensaver or any other hidden unclassified documents, if you would. But when we do it live and I'm literally just kind of scanning it, I have my appreciation for your take, Kevin's take. And then when I get to do mine, I'm always like, what the fuck did I miss the first time? Like, how did I miss the dude getting dinked on his head until I'm watching it with you? So, yeah, it's a certain kind of magic. But, Tim, please get out here, give my best to your kid, and good luck where you guys are heading out tonight, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man.
All right, you guys, that is going to do it for Tim, and likely, I think all of us, unless you guys have any questions for me individually. But I will tell you this. Right now, I want to say thank you all to everybody who tuned in to this week's episode. I'm just going to do a quick back take here. Big shout out to Max Payne Griffin, who showed up in the comment section. What's up, buddy? Appreciate y'all. And I see this Egghead. Egghead, do us a solid. Give our best to everybody at the PGF. Let's hope that you guys have a great qualifier. In case you guys don't know, we will be the official pre and post shows for the PGF as per usual. So be sure to check in. We're almost coming up on PGF. We're about 6-7 weeks away from all getting the band together again and having our family reunion over there. And there is going to be some incredible people. So super stoked for that. And it says, good night, handsome Kevin, wherever you are. When you say it like that, Egg, it makes it seem like he died. And I don't know enough to know that he died. Dead to me? Yes, today. Dead in general? Unclear. So we will try to get to the bottom of that, but he is very much looking forward to seeing all of you guys. And yeah, just some reminders. Check us out, patreon.com/grappling hour. You'll see my interviews every single time you go to that show, 30 days before everybody else. If you are a Patreon member for just $5 a month, and for a few extra bucks, you could see our extra bonus content not available anywhere else. You can also get some Grappling Hour merch by going to RAFESPARZA.com/merch. Check us out at Spotify and on Apple Podcasts at Grappling Hour. Be sure to like and subscribe. Our good friend Tim's podcast as well, Inside BJJ. He does a great job. He is one of the true OGs of the sport. And ladies and gents, I think that's going to do it for us here at the Grappling Hour and Inside BJJ for the Bullpen. We appreciate you. We love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. It has truly been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats.
Elevate your BJJ game with inverted gear, where pandas and performance meet. Whether you train in a gi or prefer no gi, we have something for you. Our gear is built to last and designed to perform no flashy extras, just high-quality craftsmanship and minimal design. Plus, pandas. Don't miss our back-to-school sale going on now. Visit www.invertijar.com and roll with confidence panda style.